So in this video I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna do an interview with a young 19-year-old African boy that just started working for me. I am going to show you pictures of before the rain comes. The rain should be here in the next 2 days, and so the land will change dramatically. And I am going to tell you a story on why it is so extremely important for somebody learning to speak English to be able to understand what the word orgasm means and how to use it. So this is Christy. He started working for us about a week ago, and so he's been marking these zai pits. If you can see on the land, there is loads and loads of them that he marked out by himself. And so we're gonna sit in one of them and just have a little chat. Okay, let me just put the camera down. Okay, just have a seat there, Christy. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit closer. There you go. Alright, thanks Christy for chatting to me. First of all, tell me quickly, how old are you now? 19 years old.
Yes.
And have you worked anywhere before?
No, this is my first work I ever made since before.
Is it? And tell me, when did you stop with school?
Last year.
Last year.
Yes.
And from last year until now, what did you do with your days?
I was just spending my time at home, no job, no anything to do.
The whole time at home and in the township. You live close to Matthias?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's basically how I got hold of Christy. Is I said, listen, I need somebody that can do the garden and do the permaculture things while I'm trying to keep the company up and running, because we're having some tough times there. And so that's also one of the reasons why I haven't made a video yet recently, because a lot of my appointments are after hours, and then during the day you try to fill up those appointments. So you work from 7 until 7, and then it becomes dark and you can't come here. And so I had a need for somebody like Christy, that I can come in early in the morning and show him, listen, this and this and this is what I want to have done, and then he can do it. And so how long have you been working for me now?
No, 1 week ago.
It's a week now. Yeah. So we had a bit of, we didn't understand each other in the beginning, and Christy doesn't speak a lot. So one day I arrived here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and he was gone, and so I just called Matthias and I said, listen, just ask this guy how I can pay him so I will never have to see him again. And then Matthias spoke to him and he said, no, please just give him another chance. He doesn't have a job and he's got a big family. And we didn't understand each other, because when I asked him to plant something there, he plants it there. But he needs more attention from me, I would say.
Yeah.
More, so I can show you nicer what to do. Yeah. You must speak a little bit louder, because I'm not sure if these microphones are working.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, but I think now I am very glad that I kept you, because you work like a freaking machine. You are very strong.
Yes, I can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. You work very, very hard. And then I realized, I spoke to him a little bit about your family, and I'm going to just go through the conversation again, just so I can share it with the audience as well.
Okay.
How many, you're not married yet, eh?
No.
Or a wife or children or anything
No.
like that? Okay. And where do you live?
I live in Umbili.
Umbili,
Yes.
where Matthias lives.
Yes.
And with who do you live?
I live with my sisters and my mother.
Your sisters and your mother.
Yeah.
And your father?
No,
Where's your father?
my father stays. He lives in Windhoek.
In Windhoek.
Yes.
How many children does your mother have?
7.
7 children.
Yes.
And so, does your mother have a job?
No.
How do these 7 people eat?
No. I and my sister do work, so we buy food in the house.
So between you and your sister.
Yes.
How old is your sister now?
she's 28.
28. So she's 28 and you're 19.
Yes.
And between the two of you, you look after your mother and then the 5 other siblings.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's quite a responsibility. Eh?
It's our responsibility because we are the biggest children for our mother.
Yeah. Tell me quickly, what work does your sister do?
She works in a shop whether she's selling clothes and just clothes in a shop. She's working in a shop.
Okay. So a lot of the money that, well, all the money that you receive from this job will then go to support these children.
Yes, I buy food and make plans for them. Make plans to buy school fees for them for next year or it's early for next year.
Before we continue, I just quickly want to double check our sound to make sure that you can hear us. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, so our sound isn't great. For some reason, I can't get these microphones to work today. So Christy is very soft spoken. I will try to, we need to get you one of those amplification thingies.
Maybe it will be better.
Maybe it will be better. Okay, so in the meantime, you started here, and I just showed you one of these berms, pits, like they call them in Senegal, and you just took over and you...
Yes. I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, you understand quite well, and we started last night basically. So today you made 3,
Yes.
which is quite a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me, do you have any experience with gardening or planting or anything like that?
No.
No. So everything you learn here will be new.
Yes. This is my first time.
Your first time.
Yes.
Yeah. And animals, chickens and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have some at home, or
Yes. Chickens.
you have chickens at home? So the chickens isn't something new for you.
Nah, it's not me.
Yeah. What do you feed your chickens?
We feed them maize and just such as some beans and yeah, just such.
And do you give them any of the things that comes from the kitchen, like the leftover food and things
Yes.
like that? Yeah.
They do eat, yes.
Yeah. But do you keep them for eggs or for meat?
Some I will sell, some we eat the eggs and for meat too.
For meat too.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. How old is your youngest brother or sister? The youngest child?
3.
3 years old.
Yes.
Okay. So it's from 28 until 3.
Yes.
That's quite a system. I haven't seen your house yet. If you don't mind me asking, what is the house made of?
Zincs.
Zinc.
Yes.
Okay. It's like Matthias's house.
Yes.
So similar.
Yes.
Yeah. So in short, to sum up this interview is, I employed him because I needed him, and I received money from you guys for coffee, and so that is, I said to myself, listen, this is what I'm going to spend the money on. Matthias brought him to me. I sort of dropped him here in the deep. I told the guys here, listen, show him how to work the taps and how to water the plants, and I didn't give him the training and the attention that he needed, except for yesterday. And today I was able to come a little bit earlier again. Things at work changed, and I can move my later appointments later and my earlier appointments earlier, so I have a time between 4 and 5 that I can be on the plot now, and so I spent some time with him. And I'm really glad that when Matthias said, listen, just give him another chance, that I actually did that. And I'm very grateful for you guys that bought the coffee, to be able to support him, because all of that money will go towards him and to buy trees for this area. I'm going to show you this area, our plan here is we don't have irrigation here. It doesn't help if we plant any trees here, but it's gonna dig these eye pits. And I have seen people in our area having planted maize and having a success with it, a dry land maize we call it, because there's no irrigation. And so there is a chance that it might fail if the rains stay away for a little bit too long. You know, if there's a period that it doesn't get rain, because since there's no irrigation. But the other thing that we will then accomplish is we will have quite a lot of living roots in the soil. But yeah, Christy, thank you very much for the interview. I really appreciate it, and then we will do this again. I will keep you up to date, and we will train Christy in all of the ways that we do, and in the gardening and in the permaculture things. And I will give you guys an update. Let me show you the rest of the property quickly. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the back, but the rain is maybe, I think, at most a day away. So this is preparation for rain. Cool, thanks Christy. Okay, so that was Christy. I am very excited about what he's going to learn. He's very shy. He doesn't speak at all. Not even to the other guys. He's very shy, so I hope we add some value to his life. And yeah, sorry for the bad audio, but it seems like the rain is on its way. I don't know if you can hear the wind blowing here. When the rain comes, it doesn't just come slow drops, it pours. The rain falls with a vengeance. So we've only got 3 of these micro swales in this area, and this is extremely dry. I hope to show you, I hope you remember this tree. I will come and stand at exactly this spot a month from now and make a video so you can see what this place turns into in 30 days, because in 30 days this will be a new world. Right, I want to show you quickly some updates on what's happening on the plot. I'm going to pause and start and so on again. So this is the first area where we started with the fruit forest. That little lemon tree there, still alive, survived the goats. That little lemon tree there, still alive, goats didn't get to it. Moringa coming up there. Over here is a fruit tree hiding there between the fawns. So the sheep and the goats are probably the worst. One of my viewers, Deborah, said that goats are probably the worst thing for the environment, and I agree. They are, if you don't manage them correctly, they are devastating. Here we've got a little mango in there. There is also a mulberry tree that we thought were dead. Then we planted the mango, and then the mulberry came back to life. So between the 2 of them, they will have to fight to see which one works best, but I believe there will be enough water here for them. And there's a little kumquat thingy there, and then this pipe we installed to that tap there, so there's a lot more water in this pipe. There's little holes or little spigot thingies, and this was all done with coffee money. So I cannot explain to everybody how grateful I am for all of the coffee money. Anybody that buys me a cup of coffee, at the link below, this is what you guys are doing. This is what's helping here. So this is a friendly forest. The sheep came in and destroyed everything. This mango survived. There is some tomatoes there that's living. There's a moringa there that's living. Now the moringas went through the winter, and normally our moringas dies back completely during the winter, and so they didn't, and they survived. They survived the sheep, they survived the winter, which was fantastic. We get below freezing here. There's a little neem tree coming up there, another mango, another neem. This one is nice and big, and I actually don't know what we planted here, but it's doing well. And so I've been reading syntropics more and more, and so we are gonna change a lot of things. This is fly cages. Flies hasn't come out yet. Place the feet in some wood oil tar kind of thing, just so the ants don't get in there, because they did. We moved the greenhouse below this witgat tree here, next to the termite hill, and below that tree, so we can shade it a little bit, just to keep the sun out a little bit. There is some flies in here, fly larvae. This is now just in the previous video, they are there, and so they walk up the ramps and then they fall into the buckets here, and then we move them to the various locations. Right, let me show you something else. Okay, so this is the dam that me and the kids and I, my sister said I shouldn't say me and the kids and I have built. And then down here there's some leucaena. In the back here there's some moringa, leucaena, lots of leucaena. I planted a lot because they are very tasteful, and so we don't have a high survival rate on them. They are one of the first things to get eaten. There is some leucaena there. I want to tell you an interesting story. We are removing sand and sifting it, and then we're adding it around a water line. Our main water line kept on bursting, and it's because when we installed it, we never put fine sand around it, so the little rocks keeps on making holes in the pipe. But in this area I employed a guy 4 years ago, when I just bought the land, when I just got the land, or access to the land. I had nothing here. I dropped him here, and I had always permaculture dreams, so I said, want to see what the soil profile is. I picked him up next to the road as a day laborer, gave him a shovel, and I took him to my house first, showed him where I lived, and brought him here. And he was supposed to come that night to collect his pay, so I became busy. He never came. 3 days later, I'm thinking maybe he worked an hour and he decided to leave. I come back here, and he walked, this is about 6 kilometers from town, he walked 10 kilometers from his house and then another 6 kilometers to get here, and then he started digging, and he dug and he dug. I say 6 kilometers, maybe closer to 4 kilometers, but still it's very far. And he kept on digging for 3 days, and so he was about 4 meters deep in here. So this soil profile, almost everything is river sand like that, and he dug a hole here of 4 meters. Anyway, so that inspired me to build a dam here, and if you go that way, there's almost no fall in the riverbed. So if you lift this water maybe not even as high as this rock, it pushes back about 200 meters that way. And so the other day I went through a building site and I saw these big rocks, and I said, where are you going? And they said, no, they're gonna dump them. And I said, I have the place for you. So they ended up dumping them here at my land. So this will just slow down the water. We have basically 4 meters that it can go into the soil without any resistance, because there's no clay, it's just sand. And then after that it will come around this way, pass to the big dam there. Sheep came in here and they ate all the new growth, as you can see there. They ate all the cucumbers and things that we planted here, but all of this prickly pears decided to grow some more, so they all made new leaves. Again, we lifted this thorn fence here. We haven't planted anything new here, but I'm going to show you. Our vegetable garden is bursting out of its seams. These are all butternuts. We have hundreds, maybe even thousands of butternuts growing. And so we will see there at the back, there's more. We will support the orphanage and the old age home, because we will no way be able to eat all of these butternuts between ourselves. This is the vegetable garden that you guys have seen. It's coming along nicely. It's filled with pumpkins and butternuts and butternuts and butternuts and a little bit more butternuts. And so we will be having a bounty to share. We haven't sprayed a single drop of poison on them. We have just put wood vinegar on them to keep the bugs away. And yeah, wood vinegar is a miracle product according to me. I am so happy. We haven't had any pest problems. It seems like our things are growing much better than they should. So the rain started to fall, so I won't be able to show you all the updates, but I want to show you some more butternuts. Hope you can see there. This is what this place looks like now. Pumpkins and butternuts and spinach there, and tomatoes there, and so it's just abundance growing all over this place. Are you guys ready for the rain? We started the video saying the rain is a day away, but here it is, raining cats and dogs. Okay, so here we are. It turned dark out and it was raining, so I decided to finish this tonight. Let me show you quickly. So this is basically my office. I sit on that desk there, my wife sits there, Shani, one of the ladies working for me, sits there, and it is in a, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit, like a 3-car garage. This is our office, and so I am going to sit on that little chair there. Let me just try. I hope the volume this time is better. Okay, let me tell you my stories. I wonder if I should not sit here. Hold on 1 second, let me just check. Okay, I'm gonna sit on that chair and see if that helps for the audio. And then I'll shout. These mics have been giving me troubles and I can't figure out whether they are working or not, and so on. So before I tell you my orgasm story, I want to talk to you about sheep a little bit. So I only have socks on. This is late at night, look like this. And I don't have my bare foot on almost. Anyway, so sheep, which Jeff Lawton calls them the maggots of the earth, eating everything to the bare bone. And so keeping sheep on the Lewis plateau, one of the first things I did is I corralled all the sheep and they worked them like that. And so we have sheep. We have 13 sheep, and then my parents-in-law have some sheep as well. And they caused so much damage. So much damage. I plant and then they come and they get in. If somebody leaves a gate open or a branch lowers by the wind or whatever, they get in and they finish 4 months of work. And so I strongly thought about getting rid of my sheep, but I've only got 13, and then there's more that belongs to my parents, and I can't expect them to get rid of their sheep as well. So our sheep supply constant meat supply to us, and we have the knowledge of the rotational grazing, but with the rotational grazing, it's quite an expensive thing if you don't have the infrastructure. So we tried electrical fences. I bought a whole system. Our land is so dry that earthing electrical movable fence is a mission. We had the experts coming and we would bury a line below the soil and add salt to it so there's more moisture in the ground, and we couldn't get the electrical thing to work. So our sheep roam quite freely, and then everything that we try to keep alive we sort of corral off. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because we are by no means wealthy. I mean, we really do need the meat. It really does help us to not have to buy meat for my family. But saying we are not wealthy, I'm still wealthier than, I would say, 99% of the black people living in Namibia. I'm definitely in the top 10% of Namibia. We still struggle to pay our rent. We have 14 families that we have to take care of. There's still struggles. But we are definitely, on the wealth scale, we are quite high up. We are very, very privileged. And for me to convince me, even though I know better, to get rid of my sheep, I wouldn't do it. The reason why I wouldn't do it is because I have to feed my family meat, and even if I do it, other people's sheep are walking on exactly the same land, and they will eat my things. Now you go and try to explain this to a tribal person that grew up with generations and generations of sheep grazing. Try to explain to him that he must get rid of his sheep. There is no way in hell it's going to do this. So this is a catch that we will sit with. Our infrastructure will get better, our land management will get better, our camps will get better, our rotational grazing system will get better. Because we know it, and it's important for us to improve this, but we will never be able to convince some tribal person somewhere in a village to get rid of all his sheep. It's not going to happen. So that's my sheep run. Happier things. Let me tell you about my orgasm story. So I was working on this island in Mozambique called the Bazarito Island. I spoke about it in my previous video as well. I went there as the most naive person you can imagine, knowing nothing about the world, knowing very little English. In fact, my English was so bad that between me and my boss we had to write emails, and then we would find a word that we don't know, and we would retype the whole sentence or the whole paragraph so we can use words that we do know how to spell. We didn't understand the whole spell checking thing on Google yet, so we changed the whole sentence to make sure that we don't have to use that specific word. Anyway, so I was a horseboy there, and I had to, one of the things the GM asked me one day, it was a 5-star hotel, very, very prim and proper, celebrities and high up guys, and there's nothing 5-star about me. And one of the things I had to do is go and develop new activities for these people. So on the one side of the island, there was a rough sea, like waves and things like that, and then there was dunes, and then there was land, and then the bay, and the bay was as flat as a mirror. And so one of the activities that I wanted to do is, on the rough sea side there's sea turtles hatching and moving out, and there's a phenomenon called now it's going to leave me. But basically, it's a fluorescence, organic fluorescence, and it's basically an aggravated organism, and when you aggravate it, it glows. I will remember the word as soon as I finish with the video, of course. And so I was walking, I drove with these people, young 19-year-old, and one of the boys was about 12. I drove with them at night to the other side of the island where we could walk over the dunes where they weren't that high, and we stopped on this side of the dune, climb over the dune to the rough sea side, go down on the rough sea side, and that night we didn't find a lot of turtles. In fact, I cannot remember finding any turtles at all, but we found a ghost crab, which is quite a nice thing to see, and we would play with them, and there's bioluminescence, that's the word. It was all over the place. You would step on the soil and the glow would just go out like this, and you throw sand in the waves and it would just glow, and as the waves crash it would glow, and it was just magical. And so this is what entertained us, and this is what entertained the guest. And so I was in front with this 12-year-old boy, and I picked up, now I did a lot of reading, I have to teach these people, and my boss explained to me this organism that gets aggravated and is glowing, and I explained this to these people, and I picked up this piece of sand and we played with it, and there's this one piece that would just not stop glowing. It would just keep on glowing. Everything went dead and black, but this one piece just keeps on glowing. And I said to him, wow, look at this little aggravated orgasm. And he was much wiser than me, knowing about things like this at 12. Burst out laughing, ran to his parents, tell his parents, they laughed. I looked, my whole face lit up red. I'm so ashamed of what I just said about this freaking aggravated orgasm. And obviously we go back to the lodge, and I don't know if they even waited for the next morning, but they told everybody, all the guests, all the staff. So for about 2 weeks after that, until they went home and new guests started circling in and the joke wasn't funny anymore, everybody called me an aggravated orgasm for about 2 weeks. So when you learn English, learn that word, learn what it means, learn when not to use it, because it's going to bite you. That is the end of my story, and I really do appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.